provided by Thomas Allgeier and Franis, based on the most relevant posts on LinkedIn about account-based marketing in CW 2627. Franis is a B2B market research company working with enterprises to optimize their campaigns with account and executive insights far beyond AI. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really plunging into the evolving world of account-based marketing. Our mission for this deep dive, well, it's to pull out the top ABM trends that really jumped out on LinkedIn during calendar weeks 26 and 27. And yeah, it's been a busy couple of weeks, lots of strategic talk going around.
Absolutely. You can think of this as your shortcut to understanding the key shifts happening in ABM right now. We'll be looking at strategic recalibrations, some pretty significant tech-infused innovation, and also these really intensified discussions around personalization and, maybe most importantly, trust.
Right. Trust within ABM, that's huge. The goal is to give you not just the what, but really the why these changes matter for your strategy.
Exactly. It's about the strategic implications.
Okay, so let's unpack this. We've sifted through, a significant stack of insights from LinkedIn thought leaders, practitioners, and we've kind of boiled them down into a few interconnected themes. These are the conversations really shaping ABM's future, wouldn't you say?
I would. These themes definitely represent the most impactful threads. They show us pretty clearly where ABM is heading and what's pushing it there.
So our first major theme really gets to the heart of it, a strategic recommitment to the core principles of ABM. The insight here isn't just, refine your target list. It's a deeper shift, moving from just campaigns to building real deep trust and long-term relationships. It reframes ABM almost as a business philosophy.
That's a good way to put it. And it connects to this push for transparency. Tanya Saz, for example, she pointed out that too many ABM campaigns are still happening behind closed doors, when really they should be designed to be repeatable, transparent across the whole organization.
That makes sense. So everyone knows what's happening. And that ties into Karina Owen's point too, right? About integrating non-target accounts into the ROI story.
Exactly. It's about showing the full holistic value, not just those isolated wins on the main targets. It paints a much more complete picture of ABM's actual impact.
That distinction, siloed campaign versus broad, transparent strategy, really hits home. Marcus Dahlberg echoed this. He observed ABM is often seen as, quote, just one of the many marketing channels.
Rather than a true go-to-market motion.
Right. And you can't just fix that by buying a new platform, can you? This strategic shift needs, real hard work, change management.
Definitely. It's organizational.
So for the marketers listening, what does this deeper commitment mean for proving value and getting teams aligned?
Yeah, that's the key question. How do marketing and sales really collaborate effectively? Niharika Thakur highlighted how a strong sales center of excellence, a dedicated function, optimizing sales when it partners closely with a focused ABM motion. It naturally leads to fewer accounts, but much more relevance and ultimately bigger outcomes.
Fewer accounts, more relevance, bigger outcomes. That sounds like the goal.
It's about smart work scaling exponentially, making sales more strategic, less of a pure numbers game.
And Roshia E. Garza really focuses on that strategy aspect, calling ABM a direct revenue growth approach. She stressed tiers, not lists, focusing on precision. What does that actually look like day to day for a marketer? Seems like a big shift from just managing lists.
It is a shift. It means moving beyond just a broad list of prospects to a really carefully segmented approach based on fit and potential. And that leads perfectly into our second major theme, this intensified focus on buyer journey personalization.
Personalization is always key.
Right. But what's trending now is mapping content really precisely to account-specific intent signals and where they are in their life cycle. Things like buyer feedback loops, real-time intent signals, they were becoming critical pillars for making engagement truly dynamic.
Julia Carter's example on this really caught my eye. Using buyer feedback surveys not just for tweaking things, but to find high-intent signals, even identifying prospects unhappy with competitors for hyper-personalized campaigns. That feels genuinely next level.
It really is proactive.
Oh, it does raise a question. How do you keep these super-personalized campaigns agile? What happens when the market suddenly shifts?
That's a vital point. Dr. Kartik Najendra spoke right to it. He emphasized ABM campaigns have to be flexible enough to weather the news cycle. He gave this example. A sudden regulatory change hitting CFOs. If your messaging doesn't adapt instantly, it's just irrelevant noise.
So it's about staying turned in, not just sticking rigidly to the plan.
Exactly. Staying in tune with their world, not just on your message.
It's definitely not set it and forget it. Megan Davies' advice fits here too. Treat high-value prospects like VIPs. She said simple things, like actually researching their recent funding or leadership changes for personalized outreach, that one action can beat 100 generic cold emails, quality over quantity.
Absolutely. And that quality focus shapes how you segment accounts. Anthony Natoli detailed a clear method. Tier 1, high fit, high signal, ready for deep engagement now. Tier 2, good fit, lower signal, need more nurturing. And Tier 3, cold or nurture. And he stressed using signals like recent funding or new leaders to make these distinctions. That nuance is crucial.
That tiered approach, yeah, it makes so much sense for focusing resources where they count. Amelia Korchinska also shared a great lesson about the buyer journey not always being linear. She pointed out that assuming all identified companies are in an awareness phase is often just wrong. Some are already problem or solution aware.
Right, pushing everyone into the same starting gate can mean missing opportunities or annoying people who are further along.
Exactly, which leads to a really interesting point.
Yeah, if the journey isn't linear, what should be the real focus? There's this growing argument, a really powerful one, to shift focus from accounts to people. We saw Mark Kellens, Nick Bennett, Rosalind Santelena, Maximus Greenwald all talking about person-level ABM, or person-based marketing.
PBM, person-based marketing, okay.
Their core idea is simple but profound. Accounts don't buy, people do. So understanding individuals, their specific problems, their roles, their relationships inside that buying committee that becomes the most important thing.
That's a significant shift in perspective. Though Orla Murphy added a slight nuance, didn't she? Preferring context over personalization in the early stages of strategic account engagement.
Yeah, her point was about building credibility first, show you understand their world before diving into deep personalization. Save that heavy personalization for later in the sales cycle once the opportunity's more qualified and they're ready for tailored solutions.
Okay, that makes sense. Build the foundation first. So we've got strategy, personalization, focusing on people. But none of this really scales without the right tech, right? Which brings us to the next big trend. Innovation and tech enablement transforming ABM. Automation seems key here. Journey orchestration, signal processing.
Oh, it's transformative. Rohan Ahir shared a fantastic real-world example. He talked about how technology made precision scalable for them, leading to a 40% increase in MQL to SQL conversion without adding headcount.
Wow, 40% increase in MQL to SQL. That's huge. And no extra people needed.
Exactly. It shows tech supporting human insight, not replacing it, driving real efficiency.
That's impressive. And we're seeing new tools pop up to help with this, right? Like Tyler Plyce's ABM targeting system, aiming for a clear, repeatable process for selecting target accounts, trying to simplify things.
Definitely needed. And when you talk tech now, you have to talk AI. Vincent Plessard and Andrei Zinkovich both dug into AI's role, describing it really well as a co-pilot for ABM.
Co-pilot, I like that.
Yeah, it takes over the heavy lifting, automating research, manual personalization tasks, data operations, which, crucially, frees up marketers for creativity, high-level strategy, and those truly bespoke campaigns. AI can also help with enriching account and buying committee data, monitoring signals, buyer enablement, lots of areas.
So AI handles the grunt work. Marketers focus on strategy and creativity. Makes sense. Brigitte Ruha even laid out her comprehensive go-to stack for ABM. Tools for building TAM, prioritizing accounts, personalizing outreach, finding lookalikes, intent data, attribution, the whole 9 yards. What's amazing is just the sheer breadth of tools available now.
It really is a sophisticated ecosystem, but tools aren't everything. Our fourth theme is absolutely vital, and it underpins everything else. Trust as a strategic lever.
Ah, yes, back to trust.
Multiple people hammered this home. Trust, not just precision or efficiency, is the foundation of successful ABM. And specifically, leveraging existing relationships is way more effective than just cold outreach.
Marco Joric put it so well. Personalization without trust is just well-written noise. He really stressed looking inside your own company first. Who knows someone at the target account? Get that warm intro.
It's about leveraging those internal networks. And John Ozizel's LinkedIn ABM playbook gave practical advice on building trust systematically. Consistent, valuable content, yes, but also meaningful engagement, thoughtful comments, real interaction, not just random likes. He said that sustained effort over, say, 6 months is what really builds relationships and pipeline.
It takes time and effort then, not instant results. Bev Burgess echoed this too, needing to understand your customer's world first, then show how you fit into it. She drew on Charles Forte's advice for engaging government buyers. Context and empathy matter more than just pushing product.
It connects to what Alberto Regis called relational archaeology in strategic ABM. I love that term.
Relational archaeology, explain that.
He means doing CSI-level research, really deep investigation, to truly understand a client's fears, challenges, priorities, moving way beyond generic messaging to show you get them. That's how trust is built, he argues. So dream clients choose you.
CSI-level research.
Okay.
That paints a picture. And related to understanding buyers deeply, Vincent DeCastro highlighted cultural intelligence for global ABM.
Yeah, super important for global campaigns. Adapting strategy to local business culture, like maybe more relationship-building focus in Europe versus more direct outreach in the U.S. Getting that wrong can really hurt effectiveness.
You absolutely need that nuance.
Yeah.
Okay, so for our final theme, let's talk metrics. The evolution of metrics improving performance in ABM. It feels like the focus is shifting. Like conversion efficiency, not just volume, is really taking center stage now.
Definitely. And just to bring back Rohan Ahir's stat again, that 40% MQL to SQL jump without adding headcount.
Right.
That shows the power of tech-supported insight driving real, measurable efficiency gains. It directly impacts the bottom line.
It's tangible proof. And Joy Jumala had that really powerful line, ABM doesn't chase leads, it chases revenue.
Exactly. That sums up the shift perfectly. It's about targeting the right accounts at the right time, using behavior, intent, things that signal actual revenue potential, not just curiosity.
But just swapping MQLs for MQA's marketing qualified accounts isn't the whole answer, is it? Davis Potter argued that.
No, he argued it's not quite enough. He pushed for a hybrid approach. Combining the MQA view with contact-level engagement insights within the buying groups, that's what gets you true marketing sales alignment, especially in those complex enterprise deals with lots of stakeholders.
You need both the account view and the people view. Makes sense. Andrew Seidman even suggested new incentives for BDRs and marketers, moving away from just meeting quotas or counting leads towards points based on account quality and finding matched engaged leads from target lists.
Right, rewarding the activities that actually align with quality and strategic fit. And Barry Duffy gave us a great framework for ABM metrics that actually match the real B2B buying process. 3 key ones.
Okay, what are they?
First, account engagement velocity. How fast do accounts move from just being aware to recognizing they have a problem you can solve? Second, multi-thread penetration rate. Are you engaging multiple stakeholders across different functions? This is huge. The data he cited showed multi-threaded deals closing at 67% versus only 23% for single-threaded ones. Massive difference.
Wow, 67% versus 23%. That really underscores the importance of reaching the whole buying group.
Absolutely. And the third metric was intent to opportunity conversion. How well are you turning those high-intent signals into actual qualified opportunities for sales?
Velocity, penetration, conversion, that feels much more aligned with actual progress.
Yeah.
And Bex Powell really summarized this strategic shift well, didn't she? Moving from chasing leads to creating momentum by engaging the full buying group. Her key question, the filter for any ABM activity. If it doesn't shift a conversation or deal, what's the point?
That really cuts to the chase, doesn't it? Focus on impact.
It does. So wrapping up, this deep dive really shows how dynamic ABM is right now. It's clearly becoming more strategic, way more personalized, definitely more tech-enabled, and critically more focused on trust and delivering real revenue outcomes. It feels like a fundamental shift.
It really does. Less of a tactic, more of a core strategy.
If you enjoyed this deep dive, new ones drop every 2 weeks. Also be sure to check out our other editions. We cover field marketing, channel and partner marketing, AI in B2B, MarTech go-to-market, and social selling.
And maybe just a final thought to leave you with. As ABM gets increasingly powered by tech and data, how can you, as B2B marketers, make sure that essential human element, authenticity, real relationships, that nuanced understanding of buyers, how do you ensure that stays right at the core, making your ABM truly impactful, not just, efficient?
That's a great question to ponder. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next one.